So that's sunlight on my face.
Okay, so I was going to say you look all sun-kissed and golden. Cool. Well, this is fun because we've been recording for a minute, so this has all been caught.
Oh boy.
I'll just send that to you just for, that's our outtakes. Hello, advancement.
Welcome to The Advancing Entrepreneur. This show is all about surrounding yourself for success. Hear stories of building traction, gaining acceleration, and creating results from successful entrepreneurs who have surrounded themselves with other successful entrepreneurs. And now, here's your host, Annette Nightingale James.
Hello, Advancing Entrepreneurs. This is Annette Nightingale James back with you for another episode of The Advancing Entrepreneur, where we get you traction, acceleration, and results. Today, I am joined by my friend, Angelina Campos. Hi, Angelina.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so excited to have Angelina here on the show with me today, you guys, because Angelina is a former masterminding buddy of mine. So we're going to have a good time. Very good. Angelina, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you, and then I'm going to slide it back over to you so you can tell our audience more about yourself.
Okay.
All right. Angelina Campos is the new creator of the Networking Made Easy series of online coaching programs that help entrepreneurs get better results from their networking efforts. She is also the creator of Success Beyond the Chair, where she coaches people in the beauty industry on entrepreneurial development. Angelina lives in Hawaii, and she loves to be outdoors, traveling and eating good food. In the dead of winter, Angelina, make sure you say hi from Hawaii.
Aloha.
Angelina, tell us more. What is it you're up to? How did you get started? All the good stuff. Tell us all the good stuff.
Well, all the good stuff. Well, let's see. What I'm up to is really I'm on a mission to change the way people network. I guess that's really what it comes down to. A lot of people hate networking for various reasons. They might be shy, introverted. They've had bad experiences. They don't like being sold to. They don't know what to say, and so forth. And there's a lot of people who leave networking saying, oh, that was a waste of my time, or why did I go? And I didn't make any connections, and I should be doing something else with my time and my money. And I've had 5 businesses over the years, my first business at 19 years old. And I've built them all through networking. So I'm always troubled and baffled why people have such a hard time with networking. So I decided to do something about it. And that's what I do with the one business, the Networking Made Easy, is helping people get better results from their networking so that they enjoy it, make more money, make great connections. So that's exciting because there's a lot of people who avoid networking, and just being able to see people come in and out of my programs, coming in with networking blues and leaving with networking bliss, they actually start to enjoy it. So that's really rewarding, and I know it's helping their business and their bottom line. And the other exciting thing is my division of my coaching, which is Success Beyond the Chair, where I coach salon owners and stylists. I've been in the beauty industry for 26 years. And that's really how coaching started for me, was helping the beauty industry folks. And then it expanded to helping other service-based entrepreneurs. So it's just all that stuff going on in my business is a lot of fun. And, I think a lot of us entrepreneurs are in business because we want to make a difference and help people. And that's always rewarding and exciting.
Very good, very good. I think that there's going to be a lot of people excited to hear what you have to say about, networking and using it. I was on the phone the other day with somebody, and she's just getting started, and her business lends itself perfectly to networking. And I'm like, you got to go networking. Do you know what BNI is? You got to talk to your local chamber. What town do you live in? Let's look up your chamber. Let's, find out, and I was trying to explain to her the different types of networking events and stuff, and I could just feel that wall of fear going up. Right. And I was like, no, it's good. Networking is good. It's a really good way to build a business. So I'm sure there are people in the audience today that are looking forward to hearing some tips on that. Before we jump into more about the business, I want you to share with our audience what drives and motivates you every day.
It's really knowing that I have so much control over my life. I know there's parts where we don't have control. It's up to God and the universe, or whoever is also helping us out here. But I do have a lot of say so. And that's really motivates me. It's like, I have a decision that I'm going to make every day. And that's to work on my business, work on my relationships, just create the life that I want. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but I truly believe that. And that's what motivates me every day. It's like, okay, I'm in, I can take ownership and I'm responsible for my own life. And that's actually refreshing and liberating when you know that you can really make decisions throughout your day that are going to give you the outcome that you're looking for at the end of the day.
Yeah. Power of your own decisions. I like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think you probably hit on something that a lot of people, whether or not they've expressed it that way, I think a lot of us like it. And that idea of giving up that power is like the kiss of death, right? Like for somebody else to tell us what to do all day. It's like,
right, exactly. I always say I'm unemployable. I've been self-employed for 26 years and I'm unemployable because I like having that freedom to do what I want to do. And I'm very disciplined, so I get business done. But yeah, just knowing that throughout the day and throughout my life, it's really on my terms.
Yep. So tell us, Angelina, I want you to share with our audience, you shared with us a little bit, but I want you to go into a little bit more. Tell us that story of how you got started in business. What made you take the leap from kind of, the traditional business where you were in the beauty industry to striking out into the helping people network?
Okay, well, I'll try to be brief because it's an evolution. Okay.
Just to the beginning part, maybe, and share that with us if you can, because we're gonna get into the middle and then where you are now later.
Okay, that sounds good. So in beauty school, I was taking a lot of advanced courses while I was still a cosmetology student. So I was taking high-end color cut classes. So that happened throughout my time in beauty school. So when I got done with beauty school, the normal route is to go into a commission-based salon and build your clientele, get a paycheck, build your clientele, and then eventually perhaps move on and be rental or open up your own salon. Well, when I was done with beauty school, I had all this training behind me. And in beauty school, because of the training I had gone to, my instructor started asking me to teach courses to my peers, my other students, beauty school students. And so I started doing that. So by the time I was done 2 years later, I felt like I had so many tools and had really worked on my art and my skill that I didn't need to go the typical route to build my clientele. That was going to take too long to even reap my investment back. So I decided to be a salon, to be an owner, rent a chair, and just go straight into business. And it was a mentor that I had who was a salon owner, who was a very successful salon owner. I had just gone to her and I said, what do I need to do? How do I need to succeed and thrive in this business if I were just to go straight into rental and being a business owner? And she said, networking, like you have to get good at networking. I didn't know what networking was, but I found out. And you have to have an entrepreneur's mindset because you're a business owner. And so I said, okay. And so that's what I did. And that's what motivated me to jump right into being a business owner at 19 years old. Just because I felt like I had invested in myself and in what I wanted to create as a business and in my art. So I did that for years. And what had happened is other stylists started seeing that I had built my clientele actually in a little less than a year, which is unheard of for the beauty industry. It usually takes at least 2 years to build a consistent clientele. But I was motivated because I had expenses and rent and so forth as a business owner.
That's a big motivator.
Right. So I was highly motivated to build my clientele quickly. And then because I did, other stylists started asking me, what did you do? How did you do that? How did you build so quickly right out of beauty school? So I started teaching them how to do it. And that's really where the coaching started, although I didn't know I was coaching. I was just helping my fellow stylists. And so I did that. And then 6 years later, I moved to Hawaii. And I had worked for someone because I decided I was only going to be here for a year, 2 years, not to be a business owner. At that point, I would work for somebody. So I did. And what had happened is going from 6 years of creating a very successful, good money making business, taking time off when I wanted to take time off and so forth, and then to work for somebody was such a transition. And it was a lot more difficult to do. And I got along with everyone. It wasn't a personality thing. It was just I was so used to that freedom and having more control over my life. Well, I had missed my sister's birth of the first baby in our whole family because I was an employee. And I went back for the birth, and the baby was late because you could never tell. And I had to come back to Hawaii. My bosses told me to come back or I wouldn't have a job. And I have a high work ethic. And so I came back. I told my sister, do not have this baby. I'll be back next weekend. But she had the baby while I was back here at my job. And that was really the turning point for me, where I said, I just don't want to do this. I don't want to work for someone else who's going to dictate what life experiences I can be a part of. And that was very emotional time for me. I mean, even now, just sharing it again, and that baby, Lauren, is now 20 years old, and I still get emotional when I share that. But it was a blessing also because I came back and said, I am never going to do that again. I don't care what it takes to be a business owner. I'm going to be a business owner for the rest of my life. And I had that conviction. And when I got back, I quit my job and I started up in the salon again. I was doing mobile hair cutting. I was teaching color classes. I was just doing whatever I needed to do to build the clientele again. And that's what I did. And I ended up building my clientele here in Hawaii in about a year's time again, working my butt off, doing a lot of networking and getting out there and connecting with people, but I did it. And that was, like I said, my niece now is 20 years old. So that was 20 years ago that I had that shift, and I've never looked back. And it's, that also what motivates me to, your earlier question is what motivates me is having given up and sacrificed too much of who I am and what my values are, knowing that I won't do that again. So
I think that's really powerful. And I love that this whole thing is around networking and getting out there. I think in today's day, technology is a fantastic thing. I mean, we are 5 hours apart in time zone right now, but we're able to have this conversation. And entrepreneurs, so this is one thing about Mastermind. I'm going to jump off a track real quick. Angelina and I haven't had a lot of time to spend together over the last few years, but being able to reconnect with her today has been really special, because when you're in a mastermind together, you connect in a way that's hard to even explain. But that feeds right into what I was going to say, that for some reason, because we have so much technology, we tend to rely really heavily on that technology. And we forget that there are really simple ways to, old school ways like networking to get out there and build your business that are so effective. And part of it is because most people would rather sit behind a computer and try to do it, but if you are willing to get out there and get out in person, it can really build your business faster than one would expect, I think. So I love that you help people uncover that. So
Right.
while you were building your networking business, was there a specific time or a turning point in your business when you knew it was time for you to reach out and plug into a live event or a mastermind group or something that you knew where people would support you, where it wasn't maybe about the networking as much as it was about the brainstorming and the peer support?
Yes, in fact, after I had built my salon business again, it was actually salon clients who were starting to ask me for help. Like, okay, you help other hairstylists and salon owners. Can you help me? I'm a massage therapist. I'm a photographer. I'm a naturopath, and that's how it expanded into that area. And I also have an accounting degree. So I did go back to school when I first moved to Hawaii and got my degree in accounting. So I had an accounting practice also. And it was those clients where I was, I can see their bottom line and why aren't you making more money? And I dove in, because now these are my friends, my clients become my friends, and I wanted to help them out. So I knew I wanted to help them with the marketing and the networking, but I wasn't quite sure how to put it all together because that was never my plan. The salon business was to be a salon owner. And yes, I helped other stylists and salon owners, but not in a business dynamic or business sense. I was just helping them to help them. And the same with my accounting clients. I was just helping them because I wanted them to make more money. It was more of my heart was in it on both sides. But then they started asking me for more help. Well, can you help me with this? And other clients, well, you helped Erica with her photography business. Can you help me with my massage business? I didn't know how to put it together. And so, but I was open to it, like, okay, how do I figure this out? How do I develop programs and things like that for these people who want it? And once you put that intention out and just say, I want to figure this out, things happen. And I was invited to a mastermind group and I joined. It was called Social Wahine, and there was one here locally. And that was so valuable because I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I just went to the group and said, everything I just shared with you, I shared with the group. And I had already been in other coaching programs where I met you and Ed, and so I had some of those skills and so forth. But it was the masterminding, the collaborating, and that support and that feedback. And I got so much of it. And that encouragement too, I think, is really what was helpful. It's like, you can do this. And me as a business owner, these are other people talking, this is what I would want. And so they were helping me fill my programs, or not fill it, but create the content for my programs just by giving me feedback. So, and I can think back to several mastermind groups, big and small, that have all given me lots of value and ideas and that collaboration and it, just someone to bounce your ideas off of, I think is so important, because we can tend to stay small and stay in our comfort zone and not really venture out. Like, oh, I don't know, that kind of sounds like a dumb idea, or people aren't going to want that, or that's so basic. And then you get that feedback like, oh no, that is great. Like, really? Yes, you should do that. And then you do it and you get clients. So it's, looking back at everything, it's like, wow, yeah, I got lots of great ideas and support and collaboration and everything from all these different groups that I was in. And I can't even imagine what my business would look like if I hadn't had that. I don't know if I'd even have a full-blown business or be where I am. My assistant is always joking with me, and she says, I just had a team meeting with her yesterday, and she said, all right, Angelina, here we go again. Let's put our seatbelts on. Like, things are growing faster than we expected it. And we're not quite ready, I don't think, but we have to be, and that I noticed that those growing spurts happen when I've been in some type of mastermind or collaboration with other people.
That's really interesting. And I love too what you said about getting unstuck. Like, we all tend to get stuck in our own heads. We all think, like you said, this is a dumb idea, or I just don't know what to do with this client anymore, and just being able to go. And it sounds so simple, being able to bounce ideas off of each other. And that's the thing. It really is simple. But for some reason, we tend to, we might sit in a mastermind group for a while and then say, oh, I have so many ideas I need to go implement or whatever. And we're tempted to unplug from that group. But that's when you'll watch. If you've been in a mastermind group and you unplug, you'll just nosedive down, because it's not necessarily about the fact that you need another idea, but just belonging to that community and having the support and having the accountability is really big. And like you said, you can track your business and watch it go up when you've been in a mastermind group. So I think that's awesome. So out of these different groups that you've sat in and these different accountability partners and stuff that you've had around you, was there, give us an example, I'm sure there's been more than one, when you got an idea or you had like this light bulb go off, where you were like, oh, that's it, that's what I need to do. I want to kind of show the audience that when you surround yourself and you put yourself in a place of getting these ideas and getting, like you said, being intentional with it, good things can happen.
Let's see, I can think back to as far back to the program that you and I were in together. I can think back to some, having our mastermind groups at our tables, and I don't remember what it was called, but where you each have 10 minutes to just kind of share what's going on in your business or some ideas. And I remember someone saying, I was stuck on a phrase of what to call something in my business. And everyone brainstormed on that and gave me feedback, gave me pieces of paper. And that was like, oh, wow, that's that. And I can't say it yet because it's actually under, I'm having it trademarked so many years later. I finally said, that was a great idea. So I can't share it exactly, but it's something back then that I had this somewhat of an aha moment, I guess, because I thought, wow, that is a fantastic name. And then I just kind of left it because I forgot about it. This life happens and my business started taking off in another direction. And now I'm revisiting it and it's like, wow, it's actually still available for me to trademark. So that's what I'm in the process of doing. So there was that I can think about. And other aha moments have been, developing my programs, I think. Just having those big moments and shifts, like this is something valuable and I'm just going to go with it. I'm not sure if I'm quite answering your question because I can't think of one big aha moment, but there's just lots.
Seeing a couple. I don't think it always has to be like, this is the defining moment when my business started. Sometimes it's like you have the business already or things are going well and it can be like a shift or a pivot. So I'm going to just clarify, when you say your programs, like going from one-on-one coaching to having programs online where people can come and learn from you?
Right, from having one-on-one programs to group programs to creating VIP days. A lot of that has come through the masterminding and just collaborating with other people and getting ideas and signing up for different coaching programs as well. I think when you combine all these things together, you really catapult yourself first and then your business. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of all these things that really work together and bring out your creative ideas, bring out the best in you, help you get out of your comfort zone and so forth.
Yeah, it's compounding momentum, right? It's just over time
Right.
you do this and then that leads to this and then that leads to this. I tell people on the program all the time now, because that's a real theme that we're seeing with the different guests we're talking to. And the theme is that when you join your first mastermind group, don't worry about it. Like, just get started with it. Or even if it's your first live event, or if it's whatever it looks like to you, there's a lot of different ways that you can plug in, as long as my guests or my audience is plugging in. That's what I'm most concerned about. So however you plug in, it's going to lead, it's like a domino effect. It's going to lead to the next thing, which is going to lead to the next thing, which is going to lead to the next thing. And you can't project out that far. You can't see that far. So don't worry about all that. Just get plugged in and be in a place of positive expectation and watch what happens and take action. And you have to take action. It's not magically going to fall in your lap.
Right.
But if I could figure out how to do that, I'd make a lot of money.
And I do want to add one more thing to what we're talking about here. I just had someone last week, Wednesday, get up and say something about me in front of a group of people. A group of 40 people, totally unexpected. Didn't know she was going to say this. And she got up and she said, I really wanted to acknowledge Angelina. And I'm like, what? And she said, she was in a mastermind with me about 3 years ago. And I knew that, but I had forgotten the details of it. And she said, we were in that mastermind group together 3 years ago. And she said, I'm really proud of you. And I said, thanks. She says, I think about those conversations in our meetings and what you would bring to the group and the feedback and what you wanted to create. And she says, you have created it. I don't know if you realize it, but you've created everything you set out to create. And I said, I did? So I think when you're in it, you forget those aha moments and you forget, you know that it was very valuable, but you just forget exactly where it played into the big picture of things. And it was a nice reminder. And she said, oh yes, we talked about this. You were going to do this, 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 this. And she goes, and you're there. Like, you've done all of that and look at where you are. And she said, I'm really proud of you. And that was a nice reminder because I looked back and went, yeah, that's right. I did do all of that. And you're right. It's taking action. I didn't get to where I am now by saying all of that and just sitting back. I rolled up my sleeves, I got in and I took action. It was imperfect action, but I took action. And I think that when you're feeling stagnant, the best thing to do is to get into a mastermind. That'll just get you unstuck and get you in motion. And it doesn't have to be clear. You just have to be in motion. Like I tell my clients, clarity comes from taking action. And so being in a mastermind, signing up with a coach, are great ways to get you from being unstuck or feeling overwhelmed or feeling stagnant.
Yep. I love it. I could give a whole lecture on just what you just said, because I think it's true too. By the way, I noticed that in our mastermind group together, you were like, you dug in, you were pushing forward, you were getting stuff done from the beginning of the program to the end of the program. I had noticed a difference. So I would echo what she said on that. So you got to tell us now, where has all this led you? What are you working on now? What project's new with you? What projects do you have coming up?
Well, where this has led me is, coaching all my other service-based entrepreneurs. Like I mentioned, it started out in the beauty industry, and so where I am now is just other people coming to me and asking for help. And so I've created programs now, and now I'm creating more of a leveraged model, because the dollars for hours, I'm capped out. I have no more time. And so I'm creating group programs, again, the VIPs. I've learned how to set up affiliate memberships and joint venture partnerships. So my business now is at a level where it's a lot of partnering with other people to help support and cross promote. And that's a lot of fun, because you really see results at this level. You see results faster. Your business grows a lot faster. You're making a lot more money. Your connections are more genuine, authentic. There's a win-win. I guess that's what I feel like right now in my business, is I've created these win-win-win relationships. And it's what networking is about too, right? You're building relationships, and it's not wide and shallow. It's more narrow and deep. And that's where I am in my business now, is I'm in those more narrow, deep relationships. And that's a lot of fun, because not only is my business growing, but I'm seeing my joint venture partners, giving them more referrals and seeing their business grow as well. One of my partners just told me, no more, I can't take any more new clients right now. Thank you for sending them, but I need to take a break. I need to hire somebody. And that's a really good feeling, to know that I contributed to helping someone else get to this point where they can't take new clients right now. They need to focus on hiring another employee to help handle all the new clients that they've been getting. So let's see. Yeah, that's where my business is right now. I'm actually trying to get online. That's not my expertise area. So I'm looking at bringing somebody in to help me do the online networking. And Success Beyond the Chair is really starting to take off. So that's a lot of fun. I love that industry. So yeah.
All right, Angelina, well, I want to let our audience get to know you a little bit better now. So we're going to do a little speed round that I call playing favorites.
Okay.
All right. Angelina, tell our audience, what is your favorite charity?
I contribute to Pachamama Alliance. It's a worldwide fund, environmental, people, animals, anything to do with animals. I'm an animal lover. Yeah.
What is your favorite quote?
Well, I can't say I really have a favorite quote, but there's one that my assistant said the other day, and it's actually on my wall. I'll read that one. It really resonated with me. It says, do what's best for the final result, because we're having another growing spurt. And she said that, and I thought, that's great. I just need to remind myself of that. So do what's best for the final result. That's by Laura Chapman, my assistant.
You got to make like one of those picture quotes and put her name on it. So,
right.
But that's important, I think, because it's easy to get caught up in the minutia every day, or it's easy to have another offer or project come in and get distracted with that. So I like it. It's really good. What is your favorite discovery? Do you have an app or a resource that you use in your business?
I love Copyblogger. It's a resource, copyblogger.com.
Oh, cool. What is your favorite song?
Oh gosh, it depends on my mood. I'm such a
Well, give us one that you use to get like pumped
anything
up.
by the B-52s.
Say it again.
Anything by the B-52s.
Anything by B-52s.
I love the B-52s. Love Shack. I can just dance away, and that'll get me motivated right away.
Okay, cool. And tell us, what is your favorite business book?
Oh my gosh, I read a lot of books. Have you heard of E-Myth by Mike Herbert? Okay. I like that one, and I recommend that a lot just because of the concept. I think it's important for entrepreneurs to understand that there's a manager, there's a technician, and an entrepreneur, and they're wearing all those hats, but you got to switch them out. You can't wear them all at the same time. So I'd say that's my favorite because that's the concept that has stuck with me over 26 years.
Oh, very cool. And then a brand new question that I've thrown in a couple interviews now that will throw you off for sure. Do you have a favorite book that's not a business book? Do you read outside of business books?
Oh gosh, I do. I'm looking at my bookshelf. What?
Pick one out.
But I am reading something that a client gave me that's actually very funny, and I think it's called Hyperbole and a Half. And I can't say it's like my favorite, but it makes me laugh. And sometimes when you're in business and you get caught up in projects and launches, you just get so serious. And so he mailed me this book, and it's quite funny, and I just can't believe some of the stories, and it really cracks me up. So that's what I'm reading. I have on my couch, so when I find myself in serious mode, I just go and I pick it up and I read some of it, and I always end up cracking up. So it's Hyperbole and a Half.
Well, see,
So
I love to get new ideas and stuff. So the other day I was talking to a guest, and they gave me a business book. They're like, oh, well, this is my favorite novel and this is my favorite business book. And I'm like, oh, I love that. I'm going to start inserting that into everybody. So I might continue to not warn people too, because it's interesting. So Angelina, I want you to share with our audience one piece of advice that you as yourself today would like to have given yourself when you were just starting out. And you can choose just starting out in your business at 19, or maybe just starting more recent, whatever makes the most sense to you. So what piece of advice would you like to give a former version of yourself?
Okay. I would tell the former version of myself that it doesn't have to be perfect, that you don't have to it doesn't all have to be clear. It doesn't have to be clear and perfect. Just take action. Like I said earlier, just take action, because that clarity will come with action, and it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. You just do your best. You give it your all. You have conviction and commitment, and don't be so hard on yourself.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to tell our audience where they can connect with you, where they can find you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. AngeliaCampos.com. It's AngeliaCampos.com. And let's see, that is probably the best place right now, AngeliaCampos.com. If someone wants to pick up the phone, they're welcome. It's 808-744-5692 if they want to call and chat. But yes, my website, on my programs page, I actually do offer a complimentary strategy session. Just fill out the application and we can chat.
Awesome. Very good. And audience, as always, if you go to iamadvancing.com, you type Angelina into the search bar, you are going to get her show notes page, where we're going to link to the resources that she shared with us today, as well as her website, and we'll even include your phone number in there. So very good. Angelina, thank you so much for your time today and for being here to help our audience advance.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Great. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Advancing Entrepreneur. If you enjoyed it, leave us a rating and review. Not only will it make our day, you'll also be helping others find this show and advance their own careers. Once you're done, be sure to head on over to iamadvancing.com and join our community to learn what it takes to be an advancing entrepreneur and surround yourself for success. Thanks again, and get ready to advance.